Hey guys, welcome back to Elevated Soul. So today we are continuing with the part 2 of the chapter King Prācīnabarhi, the story of Purañjana, the Pracetās, Canto 4. After being properly received by Prācīnabarhi Sat, Narada inquired, "My dear king, what do you hope to achieve by performing these fruitive activities? The chief aim of life is to get rid of all miseries and enjoy perfect happiness, but this cannot be attained by such fruitive endeavors." The king replied, "O great soul Narada, because my intelligence is entangled in fruitive activities, I do not know what is the ultimate goal of life. Therefore, kindly instruct me in pure knowledge so that I can get out of the entanglement of household life, wherein one takes wealth and woman to be of prime importance." Narada said, "My dear king, by utilizing my mystic power, I will show you the animals you have mercilessly killed in the sacrificial arena. Look up into the sky and see how they are awaiting your death so that they can gain revenge by piercing your body with their iron horns. Those animals that are sacrificed properly can immediately be promoted to the human form of life. But when there are discrepancies, the performer of the sacrifice becomes liable for such punishment. Now, to instruct you, I will relate a very old history about King Purañjana, and so please try to hear me with rapt attention." The story that was then narrated by Narada was actually nothing other than the life of King Prācīnabarhi Sat, told in an allegorical way. The word Purañjana literally means one who enjoys within a body. Once there lived a king of the Panchala country named Purañjana, who was very famous because of his heroic activities. He had a friend named Avichnata, the unknown one, the Paramatma, whose activities could not be understood by anyone. With a desire to find a suitable place to live, King Purañjana travelled all over the world, and yet he still could not find a residence to his liking. Although he had tried to find a place for fulfilling his unlimited desires for sense gratification, he finally became morose and disappointed because he experienced insufficiency everywhere. Then, once, while wandering, Purañjana came to a place called Bharatavarsha on the southern side of the Himalayas. There, he saw a city having 9 gates and containing all auspicious facilities, a human birth in India. Surrounding the city were walls, which is skin, and parks, that is the hair, and within were towers, that is raised parts such as the head and nose, canals, which is wrinkles and depressions, and houses whose domes were made of gold, silver, and iron, the 3 modes of material nature. Within the houses, the floors were made of sapphire, crystal, diamonds, pearls, emeralds, and rubies, which are the desires for material enjoyment within the heart, and thus the city resembled Bhogavati, the capital of the Nagas, that is, the heart is considered to be the capital of the body. Within the city there were also many nice assembly houses, which is the heart of the body where the Atma and Paramatma reside, restaurants, marketplaces, resting places, streets, airs blowing within the body, and beautiful parks. On the outskirts of the city was a nice lake encircled by many beautiful trees and creepers. The humming of bees and singing of birds combine to make the whole atmosphere very pleasing. Such lakes and gardens refer to those parts of the body that incite sexual impulses. The branches of the trees received particles of water that were being carried by the spring air from waterfalls coming down from the icy mountain. The waterfall represents the sexual mallow and the spring air represents Cupid. When they come in contact, one becomes agitated. In such a nice atmosphere, even the forest animals were non-violent and non-envious, like great sages. The serene atmosphere is compared to a peaceful family life, and the animals represent the children. Above all other sounds could be heard the cooing of the cuckoos. In family life, even the turmoil that is created by the wife and children appear to one just like the cooing of cuckoos. Anyone who came to this nice park would be invited to take rest by the very pleasing atmosphere. While wandering here and there in that garden, the body, King Purañjana suddenly saw a very beautiful woman who was walking there without any particular engagement. In youth, when the sex impulse is awakened, a man searches after the opposite sex by the use of intelligence, either actively or in his imagination. She was accompanied by 10 servants, which are 5 knowledge acquiring and 5 working senses, and each of them was followed by hundreds of wives, which are the desires of the senses. The beautiful young woman was being protected on all sides by a 5-hooded snake. The vital force, which includes 5 kinds of air, is likened to a bodyguard, for without it, one could not live for a moment. She appeared very anxious to find a suitable husband. The woman represents intelligence, which cannot act without consciousness, the husband. She is described as very young, indicating that intelligence must be very fresh. Her nose, teeth, and forehead were very lovely, as were her ears, which were adorned with dazzling earrings. In material life, one utilizes the body of intelligence to enjoy the objects of sense gratification. The girl's waist and hips were exquisitely formed, and she wore a yellow sari with a golden sash. Due to shyness, she repeatedly tried to cover her well-rounded breast with the end of her sari, and as she walked, her ankle bells tinkled. These descriptions express the mind's joyfulness at seeing a beautiful young girl. The 2 breasts represent attachment and envy, which are but opposite sides of the same coin and thus non-different. The great hero, Purañjana, when one chooses to be a servant of the senses, he can become a great material hero. If one chooses to resist the attraction of beautiful women, thus becoming a controller of the senses, a Goswami, he can become a great spiritual hero. The great hero Purañjana was very attracted by the woman's shyly smiling face, and his heart became pierced by the arrows of her lusty glances. Being captivated, Purañjana could not resist addressing her as follows: "My dear lotus-eyed one, please tell me who you are, from where you have come, who is your father, and what is your purpose in coming here? In the human form of life, one should utilize his intelligence to inquire about self-realization. Who are these 11 strong bodyguards that accompany you, which are the mind and the senses? And who are the women following them? Who is the snake that precedes you? My dear beautiful girl, you appear to be exactly like the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, the goddess of learning, Saraswati, or Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva. And yet, you seem to be loitering in this forest as if in search of a husband. You appear to be the goddess of fortune, but because I do not see a lotus flower in your hand, I wonder where you may have thrown it. Purañjana knew very well that the goddess of fortune cannot be enjoyed by anyone except Lord Vishnu. Then again, it appears that you must be a woman of this planet and not any of the above mentioned goddesses, for your feet are seen to touch the ground. Still, just like the goddess of fortune, who increases the beauty of the Vaikuntha planets, you can enhance the beauty of my city by associating with me. You should know that I am a very famous, powerful, and heroic king, and I possess all kinds of opulence. Because every woman wants such a husband, Purañjana introduced himself in this way. By your glances, you have greatly excited my mind. Your smile, which is full of shyness, but is at the same time very lusty, has agitated the Cupid within me. My dear girl, your face is so beautiful and your voice so sweet, but you are so shy that you do not look me directly in the eye. Please be merciful and raise your smiling face so that you can see me. Purañjana spoke in this way because he was eager to see the complete feature of Maya. Because he was so eager to touch and enjoy the young girl, he wooed her very aggressively, and as a result, she also became attracted to him. Having thus become captivated, the woman accepted Purañjana's request by smiling, and then she replied, "O best of human beings, I do not know who has begotten me, nor do I know the names or origin of my associates. This is the ignorance of the conditioned soul in material existence. I only know that I am existing in this place, and I have no idea about what will become of me hereafter. Indeed, I am so foolish that I do not even care to understand who has created this beautiful place for my residence. All I know is that these men and women are my friends, and the snake that always remains awake protects this city even during my sleep. Even during sleep, the breathing process goes on. A great hero, it is my good fortune that you have somehow or other come here. I know that you have a great desire to satisfy your senses, and so I and all my friends will try our best to gratify you in all respects. The woman represents intelligence, which is given by the Supreme Soul, and Purañjana, the conditioned soul, utilizes the direction of intelligence for gratifying his senses to the best of his ability. I have arranged this city of 9 gates so that you may live here for 100 years and enjoy all kinds of sense gratification to your full satisfaction. How could I desire to unite with anyone other than you, especially those who are not self-centered householders and followers of Prācīnabarhi, the path of increasing attachment? Such persons are no better than plants which doesn't have any facility for sexual intercourse, or animals being without knowledge of how to really enjoy sex life. On the other hand, householders can attain success in terms of dharma, artha, and kama, which culminates in heavenly elevation. Indeed, the poor brahmacharis, vanaprathas, and sannyasis, as well as the lower forms of life, can hardly imagine the happiness that is enjoyed in household life centered around sex. Household life is so glorious because it is not only pleasing to oneself but also to the forefathers, the demigods, the great sages, the people in general. Householders may in fact fulfill all kinds of material obligations, but they usually neglect their real duty, which is to satisfy Mukunda, the Supreme Lord. My dear hero, who would not accept a husband like you, who is so famous, magnanimous, handsome, and easily gotten? Who would not become attracted by your arms that are just like the bodies of serpents? I think that you travel all over the earth just to relieve the distress of husbandless women like ourselves, with your attractive smile and aggressive mercy. Thereafter, King Purañjana and the woman, supporting one another with their mutual understanding, entered the city and continued to enjoy life for 100 years. Numerous professional singers were engaged in describing the king's glorious activities, and when it was too hot in the summer, he would enter a nice lake and enjoy the company of many women. Through two gates on the eastern side of the city, named Khatiyota, which is called as glowworm, the weaker left eye, and Avirmukhi, which is torchlight, the stronger right eye, the king used to go to the city of Vibhrajita, which is clear vision of form, accompanied by a friend named Dyuman, the sun. Through another two gates on the eastern side, named Nalini and Nalini, which are the nostrils, the king used to go to the city of Saurabha, which is aroma, accompanied by a friend named Avadhuta, which is air or the sense of smell. Through the fifth gate on the eastern side, named Mukhya, the mouth, which was the chief gate, the king used to visit two places named Bahudana, which are varieties of food, and Apana, which is speech, accompanied by two friends named Rasajana, the tongue or the sense of taste, and Vipana, the faculty of speech. With this, the next part will be continued in the next video. Radhe Radhe.